Welcome viewers. One of my students sent me this WAEC question. She said I should help her to solve this and explain it in details. So I suggested to make a video about it so some of you guys will know. This is a question that will most surely come out in WAEC. And it's a very short that must come out in WAEC. If you can solve it yourself, good and fine. It's a copy and complete the following table for the relation y is equals to 5 all over 2 plus s minus 4s squared. I'll show you two ways on how to solve this. And B, using a scale of 2 cm to 1 unit on the s axis and 2 cm to 5 units on the y axis. Draw the graph table using this table form, and you can also use the equation form. This is how to plot the graph. I'll show you how to plot the graph. This is how to find the roots to be sure that your answer is correct. This is the second method of using the equation. This is the question one of my students sent to me, and which we're going to be looking at. Complete the following table for the relation y equals to 5 over 2s plus s minus 4s squared. Okay, let's see how we're going to solve this now. We'll look at this now. We have s. Our s there is minus 2.0, minus 1.5, and so on and go. Now we have a constant which y is equals to 5 over 2. That 5 over 2 is a constant. 5 over 2 plus s. Now we're going to write down that s. That is the s that I see just right now. Minus 4s squared. You put it down. This is how to solve it using the table form. Okay. So now I'm going to draw a line down. Okay. Now this is my 5 over 2. I'll make sure that since it is constant, I'll write 5 over 2, 5 over 2, 5 over 2, 5 over 2 for everything. You get that? Okay, let me finish drawing my line. S for minus 2.0, S for minus 1.5, S for minus 1.0, S for minus 0.5, S for 0, S for 0.5, and S for 1. You go and complete the S for 1.5 and S for 2.0 by yourself. Since if I could do this for you and you see how I solve it, you'll be able to understand how to complete the table finished. But I'm going to show you the full answer once I'm done with this. Do you get that? And I'm going to show you how to solve it. For s for 5 over 2, since it is constant, I'll write it for everything. 5 over 2, 5 over 5 over 2, 5 over 2. This simply just means that y equals to 5 over 2 plus s minus 4s squared. That means you just add it up. And what s represents? If s represents minus 2.0, you put minus 2.0 in that bracket of that s, in that s itself. Then you add it together. Anything it give you, that is your final answer for your y. For instance, now I have written 5 over 2 for everything now. Do you see that? Now I will look for s. Now what does s represent in the above? S there for the first one is minus 2.0. I'm going to write it down as minus 2.0. The second one is minus 1.5. The third one minus 1.0, and so on. That is what I'm going to put in my second formula. I will just be putting those values into the s as the missing number, and I'll add them together, and anything they give me, that is my y. You get just very, very simple. That's why I just say fill in the bracket and complete the following table. But the best format is using this table form. I will show you now. You can see that what I wrote, what they gave us value of s, that's what I still wrote down. You complete 1.5 and 2.0 yourself. Okay. And this is minus 4s squared. What do you know about 4s squared? Now, for the first one, remember, s is minus 2.0. So I'm going to put there minus 2.0 and square it for my s. Okay. Now, what do we give me? Minus 2 square means minus 2 times minus 2. And that will give us what? 4. Because the minus times minus will cancel each other. We'll be left with 4. 2 times 2, 4. You get that? I'll write it again. Minus 2 times minus 2. What will it give us? It gives us 4. That's the 4 that we have here. So now, the next thing I'm going to do is minus 4. To open that bracket, I have to multiply. So it will give me minus 4 times 4. And that is minus 16. So I have there to be minus 16. So go back to my table. I put down minus 16. Okay, now the same thing I will apply for the second one, which is minus 1.5. I'll go there again and equate minus 1.5 into it. So that is the second method I'm talking about. Just get your y equals to the equation that was given to you, input the right values of s into it, and anything they give you, when you sum them up correctly, there is the value of y. Now for the second one, we have minus 1.5. Put there minus 1.5 square. Okay, now minus 1.5 times minus 1.5, that is the middle of minus 1.5 square, and it will give us plus 3.25. Yes, plus 3.25 minus 1.5 times minus 1.5 minus times minus will give us plus. Now 1.5 times 1.5 will give us 3.25. Okay, so we have minus 4. Okay, I want to write it again. Okay, minus 1.5 times minus 1.5. I want to show you how you can solve this thing using because you want to multiply. For some of us, we'll just recap. Okay, so first thing, put down multiplication. Now 5 times 5 will give us 25. You put down your 5, you carry 2. 5 times 1 will give us 5 plus 2, making it 7. Now we do the same thing again. 1 times 5 will give us 5. 1 times 1 will give us 1. Remember we have two decimal points there. That is 1.5. That is one number before the decimal. The other one is one number with the decimal. That is 2. So when we add this thing together now, just like for instance 5 will come down. 7 plus 5 will give us 13. Put down your 3, carry 1. And we give us 12. Put down your 2, carry 1. Then add that one to the other one there. Will give us 3. Now what we're going to do now is that it's going to add. Now we have two decimal points as I said, so you count it backward. 2 1 2, that is going to give us 3.25. Okay. So minus 4 times 3.25 will give us minus 13. So our answer is minus 13. Okay, I believe you know how we will solve minus 1.0 like that. The same thing, we equate it into the formula. Anything we have, that is our s, that is our minus 4s square. The same thing we'll do for minus 0.5 and so on. So this is the final answer. Then anything you have, you add it up. For instance, I'll show you on that. This is the second method I'm talking about. I'll show you that. For instance now, 5 over 2 plus, what do we have for s? S is 2.0 abi. Now minus 4s square. What do you have for minus 4s square? The first one is 16. So is minus 2. So when you add all these ones together now, we'll give you what will be at that first y. Do you get that? And you can always verify your answer with, because that when they ask you to fill in the tables, they will put some figures for y. So in your addition or in summing up of your y, if your answer does not correlate with theirs, you should know that you are having some mix up there. You understand? For instance now, I just solved this now. 2.5 plus 2 bracket minus 2.0 minus 16, which will give us 2.5 plus minus 2.0. That should give us 0.5. 0.5 minus 16 should give us 15.5. So our answer is correct with what they gave us first of all in our table format, and that is minus 15.5. We have the same answer with them. So okay, that shows we are on the right way. Now putting minus 1.5 now, minus 1.5, minus 1.5 minus 4 into bracket minus 1.5 square is equals to 2.5. Sorry, I omitted that minus, but it's still the same thing. 2.5 equals to 2.5 plus minus 1.5. That should give us what? 2.5 plus or minus, rather, because plus times minus will give us minus 1.5 minus 1.5 minus, now minus 1.5 square will give us what? 3.25. We just finished solving it. And 3.25 times 4 will give us what? 13. So we have minus 13. So 2.5 minus 1.5 will give us 1. 1 minus 13 will give us minus 12. So answer here is minus 12. Okay, now let me just jump to the last place, which is having plus 1.5 and plus 2.0. Remember, in ESC start from minus 2.0, then minus 1.5 before you now go to 1.5 and 2.0. So I'm going to the last point that is ask you guys to solve. So if your answer is not the same as mine, you have to check it now, and if it's the same, thumbs up. Okay, now plus 1.5 minus into bracket 1.5 square. So 5 over 2 plus 1.5. 5 over 2 is 2.5. You know that? So 2.5 plus 1.5, that should give us 4. Yes. 2.5 plus 1.5, 4. Okay. Plus 1.5. Minus 4. Now 1.5 square is 3.25. So 3.25. Okay, now 2.5 plus 1.5 will give us 4. 2.5 plus 1.5, 4. 4 minus 4 times 3.25 will give us 13. So 4 minus 13 will give us minus 9.0. Okay, minus 9.0 is our answer for this. Okay, we'll try for 2.02 plus 2.0. I just equate 2.0, 2.0, 2.0. So before I finish solving, you can just guess your answer. Okay, yeah. This is actually for the WAEC students that want to write WAEC. So you should look at this, because you will surely meet up with this question in exam. It is a must in your exam, and if you can solve this by yourself, it's a very big thumbs up to you. Okay, so we have 5 over 2 plus 2.0. Okay, now my 2.0 square will give us 4. Minus 4 times 4 will give us 16. So 16. So 2.5 plus 2.0 will give us 4.5. 4.5 minus 16 will give us 11 minus 11.5. Okay, so we have our answer to be minus 11.5. Okay, 11.5. Okay, so now let's go to how to plot the graph. Using a scale of 2 cm to 1 unit on the x-axis and 2 cm to 5 units on the y-axis. That means that on the x-axis, for each 2 cm, we should have only 1 unit there, like 1, 2, 3. We can have 1 to 3. That's why in my x-axis, you can see that I only have 1, 2. And on the y-axis, they said for each 2 cm, they should have like 5 units. That should have like 5, 10, 15. Do you get that? And we cannot plot the graph now. And from this graph, we should be able to obtain the root of the equation 8x squared minus 2x minus 5 equals to 0. I'll show you how to get the root of the equation from this graph, and I'll show you the other way you can use to verify your answer, you understand, if you are correct or not. And I will show you how to find the maximum value of y. So now I want to plot the graph now. So minus 2.0 on the x-axis. This is the x-axis. And this is the y-axis. Okay. Now on the x-axis, we are having the value of minus 2.0. We plot it against minus 15.5. So minus 15.5 should be ranging from this point here I see my dotted line, okay, and this is minus 2. So on your graph, there's a straight line which does not expect you to do all these things. You can use a ruler, but even the straight line alone will show you where they should meet. But yeah, I'm just drawing out the dotted line so you can get what I'm trying to say, hint on what I'm trying to say. Okay, so at this point they meet, so I'm going to asterisk that place. Okay, are you seeing it? So okay, the next one, minus 1.5 against minus 12 on the y-axis. Okay, so minus 1.5 should be at the middle of minus 2 and minus 1 on the x-axis. So against minus 12 should be somewhere after minus 10. So it should be close to this point here. Okay, so we have minus 1.0, minus 1.0, minus 2.0. Minus 2.0 should be at the middle of 0 going to minus 5 on the y-axis. So against minus 1 on the x-axis, so it should be at the middle point here. Are you seeing it? Okay. What again? Minus 0.5 on the x-axis and 1. So minus 0.5 should be at the middle of minus 1 to 0. This point here is our 0 here. Okay. So minus 1 to 0. So minus 0.5 on 1 on the y-axis. So where is 1 on the y-axis? Minus 0.5 on 1. So 1 should be somewhere here. So I'm going to put it here exactly. No, let me go back. Let me do it again. Okay, now 0 on the x-axis, 2.5 on the y-axis. 2.5 should be here. So this is our second. Okay, so the next one, we are having 0.5 on the x-axis, 2.0 on the y-axis. So 0.5 middle, 2.5, so somewhere here exactly, the middle point. Okay, so the next one, we are having 1 on the x-axis and minus 0.5 on the y-axis. So it should be at this point here, this one here. So this 0.5 minus 0.5 on the y-axis should be somewhere close to this point. Okay, so the next one, we're going to have 1.5 on the x-axis, 1.5 and minus 9. So 1.5 minus 9 should be at this point here. Okay, so the next one, we have 2.0 on the x-axis and minus 11.5. So minus 11.5 should be here. So with this, we can now draw our graph, draw the line. You can start it should hit all the whole points. Can you see something like this, something like this, something like this? Exactly. Then we have our graph. Wow, it's interesting. Okay, so now we are asked to look for the root. Now at this point here, we have this is the root. This point here, and this point here. I don't know. Okay, let me change my pen. Sorry. On the exam day, don't go and change your pen. I just want to show you what I meant there. Okay, this point here, and this point here are your roots. So at this point here, it is hitting it at 0.9. At this point here, it's hitting it something like 0. Because it's above 5, that's 0.69. That's 0.69. Minus, yeah, this is minus sign. You understand? So at these 2 points, that's our roots. To confirm this, I will show you how to confirm this using the quadratic, using quadratic formula. We say minus b plus or minus root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So you use that to prove that. You understand? So the next one says the maximum value of y. This is the maximum value of y, and this is where it is. So maximum value of y is going to be 2.5. 2.5, so at the middle, so 2.5. 2.5. Okay. So I believe if you still have any question here, you can still inbox me. I believe you will have 1 or 2 questions to ask, or you might have understand it with the tips I provide. Some of you will still bring out 1 or 2 questions you want to ask. I'll be there for you. Thank you. Okay, now let me show you how to use a quadratic formula to find the root form. So the equation says 8s squared minus 2s minus 5. Questions ask us to, from your graph, obtain the root of the equation 8s squared minus 2s minus 5 equals to 0. So using a quadratic formula now, we use that to solve this. We said minus b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a, where your 8s squared is your a, the coefficient of your s squared is your a, that is 8, and the coefficient of s is your b, and that is minus 2, and c is the constant, which is minus 5. So minus 4ac. I repeat again, a is your 8, b is your minus 2, and c is minus 5. Okay, you're going to equate it into this equation now. We say minus b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So now we have for b, minus into bracket minus 2 plus or minus. So for b2 will be minus 2 square, okay, and minus 2 square will give us 4. That is minus 2 times minus 2 will give us 4. Minus times minus plus. So minus 4ac, 4 times a, which is 8, that will give us 32. 32 times minus 5 will give us minus 160. And to give us plus 160, because minus times minus 2 will give us plus. Okay, so we have 4 plus 160, which is 164, divided by 16. Okay, I hope you know how we got that 164 divided by 16. Okay, we also divide 2 by 16 because it's divide 2, you understand? So 2 divided by 16 will give us 0.125. okay, plus or minus. Okay, check the root of 164. The root of 164 divided by 16 will give us 0.8. First of all, look for the root of 164. Anything they give you divided by 16, you have 0.8 as your answer. So 0.125 plus or minus 0.8 simply means add 0.125 to 0.8. Subtract 0.125 from 0.8. What did they give you? So we have 0.125 plus or minus 0.8 gave us 0.9. Subtracting 0.125 from 0.8 give us minus 0.69, and which is approximately 0.7. Do you get that? Okay, I've circled it. That is my answer. This is how to find the root of the equation or the root of the graph. I've showed you how to find the root from the graph.